In this video, we're going to be installing the KC lights onto the hood brackets into the aux beam switch box. Stay tuned, everybody. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. If you haven't been to my channel, my name is Juan Carlos. If you've been here, welcome back. And in this video, we are finally going to be installing the KC lights using these hood brackets onto the aux beam switch box. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and open up the box for the spotlights on the hood. Here's one of the brackets right here. And here's the other bracket. Hardware. And they come packed in bubble paper. Here are the brackets with the hardware. Let's open up the KC Apollo Pro series. These are 100-watt halogen spread lights. Comes like this. You have your harness. Power switch. The actual lights are protected. These cardboards. They come inside a plastic bag. The manual. Here are the KC Apollo Pro series lights. This is the harness. Here's your dash switch, your relay. Comes with a little sticker and some zip ties. You have your manual here. And this is just advertising of other lights. Now we're not going to use all this over here, nor the dash switch, nor the relay, because we're going to connect the main wires onto the aux beam switch that we already installed. Let me go over what we're doing today. We are going to be installing these hood brackets onto the Gladiator. On top of this will be the KC lights. We're going to run the wires and hook them up to this aux beam circuit control box. We're going to be using the 20 amp fuse. I'm going to be using the number 2 right there, because that's the top button on the gang box inside the Gladiator. I went ahead and I got this black PVC cover. I think it gives it more of an accent, the white and black look that I'm going for. It has a double face tape on the top here of 3M, and you fasten it with these 2 bottom screws. Let's go ahead and get that off to install the bracket. Using a T40, go ahead and remove the 4 bolts. Now go ahead and get your bracket out, your cover out. This is the hardware that the bracket brought. You have 4 of the thicker bolts and 4 of the thinner bolts, and as you can see, they are longer. These are the OEM bolts that Gladiator comes with. These are longer for the kit. You have a total of 8 washers, big and small, and you have 8 plastic washers as well. Somehow I managed to lose one. But that's okay, because I went to my fastener box and I found some rubber washers if I need them. So let's go ahead and install this. The kit does come with its own hex tool, but if you're going to use a cycle like I am, it's a 3/16 hex for those bolts. I'm going to go ahead and attach my light to the bracket with this nut here. It's a 9/16, and for the hinge here, that's a 1/2 inch nut. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it like so. There are 2 holes on the bracket. I'm going to use the front hole of the bracket. As you can see, I had already presented the light to the bracket. The light has a spring washer and a flat washer. You want to put your flat washer first, then your rock washer. Now you don't want to over tighten it or anything. I don't want my bracket to sit on the paint. This is metal, so I'm using 2 plastic washers, so the bracket sits on the plastic washers and not on the paint. In addition, I don't really want my connector to be out here. I want it to be on the inside, so I'm going to splice this, make this cable longer to bring it inside. I still want my little quick connectors, but I just don't want them to be out here. So that's what I'm going to do next. These are the 2 cables I need, so I'm going to untape this so I can get my 2 cables. I'm going to go ahead and cut these here. If I ever need to use this for something else, I still want to have a little bit of wire there left to be able to do that. So we're not going to use any of this. So the 2 cables we're going to use. Now since I'm on the driver's side, I'm going to get my longest cable, which is going to be this one right here. That's what we're going to work on right now. This is the cable we just got. I want the connector to be in here inside this pocket. I don't want it to be on the outside, so I'm going to cut it somewhere around here. Let me bring the bracket. So I'm going to cut this cable somewhere around here, and I'm going to splice it. Then use this harness to connect to the cable going to the aux beam switch box. I'm ready to splice my wire from the light. I'm going to use this 16-14 gauge butt heat shrink connector. Just want to show you, I spliced the cable right here to make it longer, an extension. So when I plug the end here, I'm going to plug it inside the vehicle underneath this cover, and this is the cable that goes to the circuit box, the switch box. Let's go to the other side. I had to extend this cable for it to be able to reach the switch box. Let me show you what I've done. I connected these fork terminals, and they're gonna go right in the 20, but on number 2. We'll do that in a minute. But I had to splice a little extension to be able to reach to the switch assembly, and I'm running the wire along the back end here of the hood. Here's the wire, makes it all the way through the driver's side, where I'm going to connect the light that's going to come in through here. That's what we're going to do right now. I have my cable that's running from my aux beam circuit control box, which I'm going to connect to the light. Let's go ahead and do that. Click. Go ahead and get this cover on. Okay. I'm gonna get my long bolts here with my smaller washer. That's gonna hold in place. I'm gonna get my other two. Let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm using the rubber washers to go on top of the metal washer. I think it's a cleaner look. Why is that? Because the bolts, they're not flatheads. So by not being flathead, they sink right into the rubber. If I went to use these rubber washers, they just fall right onto the hole. They're not gonna do anything. Same thing on this side. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. The top skinnier bolts are 532 hex. The bottom bigger bolts are 5/16 hex. I'm gonna go ahead and get this cover off on the passenger side now. I got my cable for the passenger side. I already installed the 4 terminals that are going to go into the switch box here. So I'm just going to insert this underneath this rubber. And that should give me enough space here for the connection. And bring the hood down. Now we're ready to assemble the passenger side. Same thing we did on the driver's side. We're gonna go ahead and connect our terminals here. This over here. So we have a little click. There it goes. This over. This guy over. Screw these on nice and easy. That's what you want. This was the 5/16 hex. For the top, we're going to use the 532s hex. I want to tighten this up a little bit. One thing I noticed, if you went to put your hood all the way back, you need to bring these all the way back so you won't hit them. using a 1/2" wrenches, or wrench in a socket. I'm gonna go ahead and snug this light into place here, like so. Now we're ready to hook up both of my cables to a circuit board here. Like I said, I'm going to use the 20 amp number 2, which is on this side. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get both of my neutrals, line them up back to back, like so, and insert them. Same thing with my positives, and insert them into the screw here. You want to use a number P2 Phillips, and as you can see, it fits perfectly. So that's what I'm going to do, but on this side. Now these lids do have positive and negative. That's how you know who's who. They are labeled. Going with my negative first. As you can see, I installed the 4 terminals to button number 2. I don't know if you can see that. Now I got my 2 negatives and my 2 positives fastened. You really do not need the 4 terminals. Since there's 2, it's a little tight. You can just do it with the plain wire, but since I already had them, I might as well use them. I've tucked in all my wires. I zip tied the wire that goes to the driver's side. It's all tucked in. I dressed up the wire with these sleeves. I purchased it at Amazon for $8. Alex Tech. They are a 1/4 inch sleeve that wraps around the wire. Looks pretty good. We are ready to turn them on. Let's go on the inside. So this will be number 2, this button right here. And I can see that it came on. You really can't tell from in here. You can tell from the wall. Let's go outside. There they are. Ooh, they're bright. You're in front of them, even during the daylight. Ooh wee! Here are the lights at night. Spotlights on. Regular lights. High beams. High beams off. Driving lights off. Only spotlights, all lights off. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button for future videos. Till next time, everybody.